Welcome back to Candid Campus, where we sit down with the community of USCA and talk about their stories. I'm Katie Carter, and today I am here with Andrew Hendrix, the Director of External Recruitment. Hello, Andrew.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Katie?
I'm good. So let's jump in.
Okay.
You grew up just down the road in Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina.
I did.
What was it like growing up there?
Oh, it was wonderful. Isn't that what you're supposed to say about your hometown? It was great. Small town, South Carolina, lots of friends and family. Didn't realize the things that we didn't have. We just enjoyed what we did. Enjoyed a small high school and getting to know everybody and having lots of close connections. Batesburg, Leesville, at that point at least, was very much focused on Columbia and that area. So I didn't really come to Aiken or Augusta very much.
Yeah.
I didn't know this area as well. But no, it was great. I had a fun childhood, younger brother. He and I fought all the time. Normal, typical stuff.
Right. What brought you to Aiken?
Getting hired.
Okay.
Getting paid to come to Aiken. I was hired as Director of Admissions here in 2001, and that was fabulous because it is my hometown closest university, and so I felt very blessed and have been here now for going on close to 25 years, which is hard to believe.
Yeah. For college, did you stay around?
I did not.
Okay.
I went to Winthrop University up in Rock Hill, did bachelor's and master's work there, which was fun. It was far enough away that I was on my own, but still close enough I could come home for mom's home cooking every now and then or whatever. Winthrop was great. Rock Hill was great. Just something different for a little hometown boy from Batesburg, Leesville.
Yeah, right. Sometimes that's really nice.
Yeah.
You shared that community service is a big part of your life. You gave a whole long list. It was all wonderful. What makes it important to you?
Gosh, I feel very blessed in the opportunities that I've had, the kind of foundation that I had from my parents and family. The ability to get an education, the ability to travel, the ability to, start a family and kind of have things happen without a lot of terrible difficulty. And so I feel a bit of a responsibility to try to give back. I saw that from my parents. They very much modeled giving and selflessness. My mother was a school teacher, librarian, later a principal. My father had a variety of jobs. He was, for a long time, a beloved mail carrier, U.S. postal worker. But the thing that really impressed on me was he volunteered as a firefighter in our hometown for about 40 years. And so kind of got me and my brother into that. But just, whether it's a blood donation or whether it's the opportunity to support the Salvation Army or something going on, they helped us to understand it was important to look out for others when you could. We're very lucky, again, blessed, and not everyone is in that same situation. Yeah.
Is there one service thing you do or one what's the word? partnership that you work with that is really near and dear to your heart? You do a lot, but is there one that you're like, I just love this one?
I always thought it would be the fire service. I grew up idolizing my father. He was big into that. He was fire chief for a little while, and I just couldn't wait to be a fireman myself. And I did volunteer as a firefighter for about 8 or 10 years before I had to give it up because I moved away. But now, as an adult, it's blood donation.
Okay.
I am, about a 20-gallon blood donor over the years. I've been giving actively since I was 17 years old. Back then, it was I could get out of a class or two at the high school because Batesburg-Leesville High School had a blood drive going on. Sure, I'll do that. But it hit home to us when our children were born. My wife gave birth to twin daughters in a bit of an emergency situation. They were born 3 months premature, and one of my girls needed a blood donation on the second day of her life. And I did not have time to get to the donor center and do a directed donation where you can say, I want my blood to go to this particular person. So my child is alive because some stranger out there chose to donate blood.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about feeling thankful and appreciative and feeling the importance of paying that forward. I don't know who it was, but I sure am glad they chose to do it.
Yeah.
And so I've donated blood and platelets religiously every 56 days. For anybody listening here in Aiken, Shepherd Community Blood Center would be more than happy to add you to their list. Super critical, only about 2% of Americans give blood. And lots of folks are going to need it at some point. So.
Yeah.
That's my plug. Think about giving blood. That's the one that's really near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, that's awesome. Family is a big thing for you. You've already spoken a lot about them, and I think it'll be a theme. But what is your favorite thing to do with your wife and your girls?
Gosh.
And it can be seasons, in this season it was this, now it's this.
Well, let me talk about seasons of life, particularly of our children's lives. My girls are now 23 years old, both college graduates, thank you, Jesus. They are out on their own, making a living, which is also we're very thankful for. But as they grew, we had different, experiences and different opportunities with them, whether it was, supporting them through dance and gymnastics when they were younger, whether it was marching band when they were in high school. My wife was a 3-year president of the South Aiken Band Booster Club. God bless her, she worked hard at that. And then when they went to college, they chose to go separate places, and so we had opportunities at USC Columbia and at College of Charleston, and so a lot of our activity for the last 20-ish years have revolved around the kids. I would say, just time, being able to spend time together, whether it's, going for walks, whether it's, hitting the favorite new movie that's coming out, or Carolina football games, or, whatever it may be. We've just tried to find opportunities to participate as a family and for them to know that they are loved and that they are cherished, and, that we're there for them when they need us.
That's super important. Yeah. You said they both work at Disney now?
They are both wrapping up their Disney College program experiences.
Awesome.
Yes. One will be home in about a week or so. The other will be home in about 3 months. She chose to extend one last time. That's been fun for them, but maybe more fun for my wife, because my wife is the real Disney fan in our family, and so we've gotten 3 trips to Orlando to visit the children, but also to visit with Mickey Mouse and friends.
Yes.
Theme parks are not exactly my cup of tea, but it's been fun, and it's been interesting to see the parks and that experience in a different way as they have shared some of the behind the scenes of what it takes to make those places work.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Yeah. College football is a hobby of yours. What team do you cheer for, and what makes it, in your words, an obsession?
Well, it's the Gamecocks. Poor things. 125 years of mediocrity, the hope of next year will be our year, the kind of that optimism as you look forward. You try not to dwell too much on the challenges or the sadness of the past, and you try not to be too jealous of either the team from the upstate that wears orange and has had lots of success over the years, or the team across the state line in Georgia that's had lots of success over the years. You roll with it, and it's just a great time. It's fun to be around people who all have that same passion and excitement. My father grew up cheering for Clemson. He actually went to Clemson, didn't have a great experience at the upstate university, and changed his allegiances. He became a Gamecock, and I was raised to cheer for the Gamecocks. And so my poor children, I've passed that on to them. Sarah, my daughter who attended Columbia, she was in the marching band for Carolina for 4 years, loved it. And so, it's just lots of fun.
Yeah.
Football is an interesting sport. It has lots of contradictions. I know it has lots of challenges. I know there are lots of health concerns for the players, but boy, it sure is exciting.
Yeah.
And lots of fun.
Yeah. Yes. One thing I will say is I've always loved the loyalty Gamecocks have had because you can easily bandwagon onto a team like Clemson or Georgia or Alabama or LSU or whatever, when they're winning.
Right.
But I've never met a Gamecock who hasn't grown up a Gamecock.
That's right. Not a lot of bandwagon fans for USC.
Right. And they're going to buy the season tickets every year and tailgate it.
That's right.
It's like,
it's a fun environment. The tailgating is not a huge thing for me, but that's such a fun part of the environment. And I always laugh at, wait, there are folks who come to the game just to tailgate? They don't even have tickets? They don't go in?
Yeah.
What is that about? But it's fun, and there's all the different aspects of it. Certainly, band has been important to us with a child participating in it, but there's all kinds of different ways that you can engage.
Yeah. One of your other hobbies is drama, movies, and TV shows. So what keeps you coming back?
I'm too much of a couch potato, Katie. That's the problem. Just fun, silliness.
Yeah.
Recently I've been into the Yellowstone environment. I don't know if you're a fan of Taylor Sheridan and all of his many, many, many different productions.
Yes.
But I've enjoyed Yellowstone. I was kind of a Kevin Costner fan to begin with, and so the Westerns are fun and what have you. But, just finding something to chat with your children or with the young people here around the college. It's fun to try to keep up with some of them. But I will say I am not as engaged and as up to date on pop culture as I should be. My children just went to the BTS concert in Tampa as they kick off their American leg of their world tour, and I'm like totally clueless on K-pop and all of that, Yeah. But no, it's it's a good pastime. Between some TV and spending too much time on socialized media, as they say, those are probably my vices.
Yeah. Speaking of, what are some of your favorite podcasts?
Well, I love a couple of different things. I love kind of current events, politics, government, things that are going on in our world. I have an affinity for the U.S. Navy, never served, but that's my favorite branch of the U.S. military service, and so I have a Navy podcast that I listen to. And then media and college sports. My wife finally left the newspaper industry after about 22, 23 years as a copy editor, a newspaper copy editor. And so kind of how newspapers, how media is created, the behind the scenes, the reporting, the editing, the challenges that go into that. I always found that very intriguing. Again, going back to my upbringing, my father was a loyal reader and subscriber of the state newspaper in Columbia. We laughed that if either the state newspaper didn't get delivered to our doorstep in the morning or his coffee pot malfunctioned, that the man could not function. He had to have his state newspaper and 2 cups of coffee every morning. And so I got raised on that and learned to read the sports page first, and then later started reading other things. So, media, those kinds of things have always been intriguing to me. And now podcasts, what a great new way. I mean, hey, here we are. What a great new way for folks to share information and connect over special topics, special interests. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just get your voice out extremely easily and have others hear it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So shifting a little bit into your job, how did you get into your position of Director of External Recruitment?
Well, I grew up as a professional in admissions. After I graduated Winthrop, they hired me as an admissions recruiter. Spent 4 or 5 years traveling all over the place, recruiting for Winthrop, meeting students, parents, guidance counselors, things like that. And then got married, moved to Virginia, found a job at a little small Methodist college, Virginia Wesleyan College. Worked for them for a couple of years before getting hired here at USCA. And kind of just the logical progression of increasing responsibilities, taking on opportunities for supervision and things like that, helping to kind of plot the future of the enrollment of the institution. Recently had a shift, and so I've been in the external recruitment position for about 2 years now, and I mainly now focus on international students here at USCA, our dual enrollment programs, including the Aiken Scholars Academy here on campus, the partnership with Aiken County Public School District, and our programs to provide graduate courses to teachers for their recertification process. So a couple of niche kind of groups that help make up the student body here at USCA.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of the job?
The favorite part of the job of just being in the college arena is folks like you. Staying connected with young people, having the opportunity to meet students, and to hopefully, even though I'm getting older and appear to be getting older, hopefully I'm not acting too much older. I want to stay connected, and that's been lots of fun. The dual enrollment program, I love that because through that program, USCA is giving local high school students the opportunity to dip their toe into college work while still in high school. And then internationals, oh my gosh. If only USCA would send me to travel some international locations. They don't do that, by the way. We do what we call armchair recruitment. Lots of email that has revolutionized international recruitment. Yeah. But being able to work with students from all over the world. You know, we've had different pockets of students from different places over the years. For a while, the government of Saudi Arabia was very generous to their students, to their citizens with scholarships based on revenue from their oil industry. So for a while, we had a group of about 30 Saudi students here at USC Aiken. It was very odd, very different, but it was cool. Same thing a few years later with the country of Angola in Africa. Very blessed with oil in their country, and so they sponsored students to go overseas for education. So we had a group of 15 or 20 Angolan students at USCA. Just recently, I've just admitted 3 students from Mongolia to USC Aiken. Yeah. Now, if you ask me, Andrew, how does a student from Mongolia even find USC Aiken? That's a really good question. I don't know, but 3 students from the capital city of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, have now been admitted to USC Aiken. So, you know, opportunities like that, being able to meet and talk and engage with students wherever they are in the process, wherever they are in the world, that's really fun for me. That's what kind of keeps me motivated.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Yeah. So you said this earlier, but you've been here for 25 years. October will be 25 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What has kept you here at USCA all of the years?
The people, okay. the community. My wife and I fell in love with Aiken, the community, when we got here. We realized what a great place it would be to raise a family. I know there are lots of young people who have been raised in Aiken, including my daughters, who say, there's nothing to do here. We've got to go somewhere else. But I'm like, no. I was raised in Batesburg-Leesville. There are things to do in Aiken, South Carolina. But it's just a great place. We've enjoyed it. We made lots of friends here. As far as the university, the people are fabulous. Wonderful, colleagues to work with and to try to move USC Aiken forward to advance our mission. I think we try to do things the right way for the most part here at USCA. We try to treat people well. We try to provide opportunities. We try to do for our students. We try to provide opportunities at a reasonable price point. All the things that you hope a college will do for their students, but also for their faculty and staff. I love our faculty, folks who just have a wealth of education and experience from all over the place and have come together here at Aiken to teach our students. I just think that's super. Students are fabulous and engaged, so it just came to be the right place. Lots of people in my profession bounce around. They go different places, they change jobs, they chase whether it's a higher salary or a higher, opportunity on an advancement ladder. I guess I chose to give up some of those things because we were so happy with this community and with this place. Yeah. We think Aiken's pretty special.
Yeah. So going back to family, it's been one of your biggest accomplishments for you. What are some lessons your family have taught you, whether that be you as a husband or dad or brother or son?
Don't be afraid to ask. I'm still a little bit shocked that my wife said yes when I popped the question. I'm a very lucky man. I don't know if it was a question or maybe a more of a dictate. Encouraged my children to try marching band in high school. I said, try it for a year. If you like it, great. It gives you your high school fine arts credit that you need. If you really like it, maybe you stick with it. And, one of them ended up doing 8 years of marching band through high school and college. The other one, my daughter Grace, went to College of Charleston, which doesn't have football and therefore marching band, but she did 4 years in their pep band, supporting their basketball teams. And so, don't be afraid to ask or try something. Other lessons from my family, gosh, I don't know. The importance of being open, the importance of trying to communicate well, to have honest conversations. It's a partnership, a family. It's a group project. I know students hate group projects, but family is a group project. Yeah. So many things in our lives are group projects, I have come to find out. But when my children were younger, it was a partnership, but with my wife and I in control and making final decisions. Now it's much more collaborative and on even keel. I hope my children will always ask my opinion of things, but I'm very quick to say, this is just my experience. This is my opinion. It doesn't mean it's absolutely the right way. You've got to navigate your life and figure things out for yourself. Your answer might be different than mine. Your decisions, as you look back, might track differently than what I did or what your mother did. But just collaborating and having conversation. I'm nearly 55 years old, and I still ask my mother for advice. My mother's almost 80. Wow. And I'm so thankful that I still have her to ask advice. And I feel badly for people who lose their parents early because, I lost my father a little earlier, but my mother has just been such a wonderful resource for me for so many years. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. For the last segment of Candid Campus, we do a this or that. Oh. And so I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Put me on the hot seat.
Yes. Say the first thing that comes to mind. Don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
So the first one, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Text or call?
Ooh. I hate to say that I probably am text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
You
don't want to see my toes.
Pancakes or waffles?
Neither.
Okay. I don't know if we've gotten that answer yet.
I don't really like either.
Okay.
Probably waffles of the two.
Yeah.
But that's not mine.
If you had to choose.
I go to Waffle House every now and then, but I never order the waffles.
Dinner date or movie date?
Even though we talked about movies earlier, I'd probably say dinner date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, the station or the sack?
The SAC.
The SAC. Okay,
The
you're
SAC.
one of the few.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's just that I like a full meal. I don't know. Station's great, and
Yes.
I hear they're all getting updated over the summer.
Oh.
I hear renovations are in store for the summer, so I'm excited to see what they'll look like
Yes.
come August. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I love the SAC.
Yeah.
I love going there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Andrew. It was great to learn more about you and your time here at USCA.
Well, thank you, Katie.
Of
Appreciate
course.
it.
Thank you for watching, and be sure to go to pacerstudios.org or find us on YouTube at USCA Pacer Studios. Bye.